She was running from a life that wasn't hers, a life wrapped in luxury, lies, and danger. Her dress torn, her heart shattered, and the shadow of a billionaire hunting her down like prey. All she wanted was to disappear, to find a place where no one could touch her. But fate had other plans. A single dad, exhausted and worn from fighting for his little boy's future, didn't expect to find a woman on the side of a lonely road, a woman whose secret could destroy a powerful empire. As he gave her a lift, neither of them knew this chance meeting would change their lives forever. Behind those frightened eyes lay a secret so dangerous, so devastating. It could cost them everything, their freedom, their safety, even their lives. What she's running from isn't just a broken promise, it's a dark, twisted world of power and betrayal. And now, it's crashing into his quiet life. Stay with me, because this isn't just a story about a torn dress or a lonely ride. It's about courage, survival, and the shocking truth that will leave you breathless. The rain poured hard that evening, slicing across the windshield like needles. Jack Carson, a 37-year-old single dad, had just finished a brutal 12-hour shift hauling freight through the Colorado backroads. His knuckles ached. His shoulders screamed. All he wanted was to get home to his little boy, Eli, and crash on the couch with a reheated bowl of stew. But fate wasn't done with Jack yet. He spotted her near mile marker 47, standing by the shoulder, soaked to the bone. Her dress was torn, not just ripped at the hem, but shredded across one sleeve, as if she'd been running through barbed wire. She had no shoes. Mud painted her legs, and she wasn't waving for help, just standing there, staring into nothing. Jack's foot hovered over the brake. He told himself to keep going. The world wasn't kind to men who stopped for strange women on deserted roads. But something about the way she stood, broken, hollow-eyed, and too still for someone alive, tugged at his gut. And Jack had learned a long time ago, when your gut whispers, you listen. He pulled over. She didn't move until he rolled down the window. "You all right, miss?" No answer. Just a slow turn of her head. Her eyes met his, green, wide, and trembling with something deeper than fear. Trauma. Real and raw. "I'm not going to hurt you," he added gently. "It's raining hard. Let me get you out of here. You need help." She hesitated, then nodded once. Jack reached across the seat, pushed aside Eli's car seat, and opened the door. She climbed in slowly, like every motion hurt. Her hands clutched the fabric of her dress, trying to hide the rips. He noticed her wrists, red and raw, like she'd been bound. "What's your name?" he asked as they pulled onto the highway. She swallowed. "Claire." "I'm Jack." She didn't respond, just stared ahead. The silence between them stretched out like a tightrope. Jack didn't push. He knew trauma didn't unravel on command, but his eyes kept flicking toward her, toward the shivers she tried to hide, the cuts on her ankles, the bruise just barely visible under her jaw. Who had done this to her? He turned on the heater and offered his jacket. She flinched when he moved, flinched like a beaten animal. Jack froze. "It's just a jacket. I'll set it here. Take it if you want." She nodded again, eyes never leaving the road. 10 miles passed. Jack finally broke the silence. "You from around here?" Claire blinked slowly. "No. Where you headed?" "I don't know. Just away." He didn't ask more, but his mind raced. Torn dress. No shoes. Bruises. No destination. She hadn't just wandered onto that road. She was escaping something. Or someone. Claire broke the silence, first this time. "Do you have kids?" Jack nodded. "One. Eli. He's 7. Brightest part of my life." A flicker of something, pain, longing, crossed her face. "You're a good father." He wasn't sure what to say. "I try." She looked out the window again, but her voice softened. "Mine wanted to sell me off. Said it was my duty. Said I was the family solution." Jack blinked. "Sell you?" Claire nodded slowly. "To a man. A billionaire. Much older. Powerful. Dangerous." The word billionaire cut through the truck like thunder. Jack stayed quiet, heart pounding. Claire kept speaking, like she had to let the poison out before it killed her. "My family owed him money. He offered to clear their debts if I became his bride. They said it was my only chance to save them." The engagement was in secret. No friends. No freedom. Just planning. Control. Jack gripped the wheel tighter. Claire's voice trembled. He kept me locked up. Said I needed to be disciplined before the wedding. I wasn't allowed to call anyone. Not even use a phone. Yesterday, I found a way out. Ran through the woods. Got cut up. Lost everything. Just kept running. Jack glanced at her. Her lips were blue from the cold. Her body was still shaking. She whispered, "If he finds me, I don't think I'll survive." Jack pulled off the road and stopped the truck. He looked her dead in the eyes. "You're safe now. I promise you that." Claire's eyes welled. Her lips parted like she wanted to believe him, but couldn't afford to. Jack reached into the glove compartment, pulling out a bottle of water and a pack of crackers. "It's not much, but it's something." She stared at it like it was gold, then took it with trembling hands. "Thank you." He started the engine again, heart thundering. His mind spiraled. What if the billionaire had men out looking for her? What if Jack was now part of something far bigger than he understood? But one glance at Claire, bruised, broken, silent, and he knew he couldn't turn back. Whatever truth she carried, whatever storm she'd escaped, it was real. And it was coming. He glanced at her once more. And for the first time, Claire spoke a full sentence, low, shaking, but strong enough to freeze the air. "He's not going to stop until I'm dead or his." Those words sat in the air like smoke, thick and hard to breathe through. Jack kept his eyes on the road, but his hands trembled faintly on the wheel. He wasn't the kind of man who scared easily. He'd seen loss, worked dangerous jobs, raised a son alone. But the way Claire said it, flat, certain, as if death was a safer option, unsettled something deep inside him. He pulled into his driveway, a modest cabin tucked away beneath pine trees. No neighbors for miles. Peaceful. Usually. Not tonight. "Come inside," he said. "You'll be safe here." Claire hesitated, her hand hovering over the truck door. "If he tracks me." "He won't." Jack cut in. "Not here." She followed him inside. The warm air hit her like a wave. Eli's toys were scattered on the floor, a half-colored page of dinosaurs still on the table. Jack grabbed a blanket from the couch and handed it to her. She wrapped herself in it like armor. "I'll get you some dry clothes," he said. "They're mine, but—" She nodded. Her eyes scanned the room like she hadn't seen comfort in years. Jack stepped into the bedroom, pulled out a flannel shirt and sweats, then stopped. His hands were still shaking, not from fear, but from the heaviness of what Claire carried, and the sick feeling that this wasn't over. She changed in the bathroom. When she came out, her wet dress was folded neatly in her hands. Torn, dirty, symbolic. She held it like it was a piece of her past she didn't want but couldn't throw away. Jack warmed soup on the stove. Claire sat silently at the table. Finally, she whispered, "He has people everywhere. Private security. Former military. I heard one say they've traced my phone to this state. I didn't take it, but they'll come." Jack's jaw tensed. Why would a billionaire go this far for one woman? Claire looked up. Her eyes were rimmed red, but not from crying, from holding back too much for too long. "Because I know something," she said. "Something he can't risk getting out." Jack leaned forward. "What?" She hesitated. "He's not just rich. He's powerful. The kind of man who smiles for cameras and signs million-dollar checks to charity, while running a hidden empire underneath it all. Bribes, blackmail, human trafficking. I overheard things I wasn't supposed to. Deals with men whose names sit in government offices. I wasn't just a bride. I was a prisoner of secrets." Jack felt cold seep through his spine. His hand gripped the edge of the table. "He kept a ledger," Claire continued, voice low. "Written proof, hidden in his private safe. I memorized part of it. Names, locations, payouts. If I go public, he's done. If I disappear, the truth disappears with me." Jack stood, turned away, then braced both hands on the counter. His shoulders rose and fell slowly. "You're telling me," he said, "that the man hunting you is willing to kill to bury his crimes?" Claire nodded once, without hesitation. Jack's hands trembled again, this time not from fear, from rage. The door creaked open. Jack spun around. It was Eli. "Dad." Jack exhaled. "Hey, buddy. You're up." Eli looked at Claire. "Who's she?" Claire forced a soft smile. "Just a friend, sweetheart." Eli looked at Jack, confused. Jack kneeled, placing a hand on his son's shoulder. "She's gonna stay the night. You okay?" Eli nodded slowly. "I had a dream there was a monster outside." Jack's throat tightened. He looked to Claire. She looked away. That night, Jack couldn't sleep. He sat on the porch with his shotgun resting across his lap. Every sound in the forest made his muscles tighten. His fingers flexed over the barrel. Claire stepped out quietly beside him, blanket draped over her shoulders. "You should rest," he said. "I can't," she replied. "He'll come." Jack looked at her. "Let him." She shook her head. "You don't understand. You have a son. He'd use that." Jack stared into the dark trees. "Then he'll learn what happens when you threaten my boy." Claire watched him. Her lips parted as if to speak, but instead she reached into her pocket and pulled out something small. A torn piece of paper. She handed it to Jack. It was a code. Numbers, letters, coordinates. "That's where the ledger's hidden," she whispered. "If something happens to me, you have to get it to the press. Expose him." Jack stared at it. His fingers closed around the paper. "Nothing's going to happen to you." They sat in silence until headlights lit up the trees. Jack stood fast, heart pounding. Claire's eyes widened. "It's him." Jack turned. "Go inside. Lock the door. Get Eli." She ran. The SUV stopped halfway down the long drive. A man stepped out. Tall, clean-cut, black suit, black gloves, cold eyes. Jack stepped forward, gun raised. "Turn around." The man didn't flinch. "We're just here for what belongs to us." "She doesn't belong to anyone," Jack growled. The man's voice was smooth. "You're a single father, Mr. Carson. Life's hard. We can make it easier. Or we can bury everything that matters to you." Jack's trigger finger twitched. The man smiled. "That ledger." Jack cut him off. "I don't care about ledgers. I care about the woman in that house, the boy sleeping inside. And if you take one more step, I promise your billionaire will be writing checks from hell." A long silence. Then the man slowly raised his hands, turned back to the SUV, and got in. The car backed away, tires crunching gravel. Claire appeared behind Jack, breath shaking. Why did they leave? Jack lowered the gun, eyes still on the road. "Because I didn't." Her knees buckled. She sat on the porch, covering her face. Jack joined her, sitting beside her, his hand resting lightly on her back. She whispered, "Thank you." Jack's voice was quiet, steady. "You're safe here, and tomorrow we expose him." She looked at him, not with fear this time, but hope, the kind that trembles, but stands. Jack sat quietly beside Claire on the porch, the night air heavy with tension. The forest whispered around them, but inside, a storm was rising, one that neither of them could ignore. "Tomorrow changes everything," Jack said softly. His voice carried the weight of a promise, not just to Claire, but to Eli, and to the life they all deserved. Claire looked up, her eyes shining with a fragile kind of hope. "I don't know if I'm brave enough," she admitted, "to face him, to tell the world what he did, what he is." Jack reached out, steady and sure. "You already are. Running away was the easy part. Now we fight." The dawn came slow, painting the sky with streaks of fire. Inside the cabin, Eli stirred, his small hand finding Jack's. "Dad," he said sleepily. "Will she stay?" Jack smiled, brushing Eli's hair back. "Yes, buddy. She's safe now." The plan was simple but dangerous. Claire's ledger, proof of a corrupt empire, had to get into the right hands. Journalists, authorities, people who could tear down a billionaire's kingdom built on lies. Jack called an old friend, a reporter known for fearless stories. He arranged a meeting at dawn. Every second felt like a countdown to a battle they might never win. Claire watched Jack prepare with a mixture of admiration and fear. "You risk everything for us," she whispered. Jack's jaw tightened. "You and Eli are my everything. No one threatens my family. Hours later, in a dim cafe buzzing with early risers, Claire handed the coded papers to the reporter. Her hands trembled, but her eyes burned with resolve. "Tell them everything," she said. "Expose him." The reporter nodded, a solemn promise in his eyes. Back at the cabin, Jack stood guard, his mind racing. Every shadow could be the enemy, every sound a warning. Then sirens. Police cars flooded the driveway. Reporters with cameras and microphones poured in. The truth was out. Claire and Jack watched from the porch as officers began arresting men who had once seemed untouchable. Security guards, shady business partners, even a few politicians. The billionaire's empire was crumbling, brick by brick. Eli ran up to Jack, eyes wide. "Is it over?" Jack pulled him close. "It's just beginning, son. But this time we win." Claire smiled for the first time in years, tears slipping down her cheeks. "You saved me," she said. "No," Jack replied. "You saved yourself. I just helped you see the light." The sun rose fully now, golden and fierce. A new day. For the single dad who refused to back down. For the runaway bride who dared to fight. For a little boy whose world was finally safe. And for the truth, wild, messy, and unstoppable. If you found this story moving and want to hear more powerful tales that touch the heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support means everything. It helps us bring more real, emotional stories to light every day. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss a story that could change your life. Thank you for watching, and remember, every story matters. Your time and support mean the world. Stay safe, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next story.